it's always unclear how one should go through these presentations and what lessons to draw. It's often hard to know whether in starting one of these things, whenever people talk about starting a company and talk about it afterwards, people often describe themselves as being either very unlucky or very brilliant, and you generally don't have too many people who describe themselves as being either stupid or lucky. But one assumes that there's actually some sort of a distribution of things, and it's always hard to know what kind of lessons to draw, because you can't really run an experiment in one of these companies twice. So it's hard to know whether we were brilliant, and if we would have done this 1,000 times, we would have been successful every single time, or whether we were incredibly lucky and it was this incredible fluke. I like to think, I like to describe us as having been in some ways quite fortunate. We were at the right time, the right place, but then we also, I like to think, did a few things right in that process. And instead of sort of going through this formal theoretical presentation about how to start companies, I thought it might be better just to interactively talk a little bit about how PayPal got started, how we pulled it together, and make it more anecdotal, because as I said, it's not an experiment. It's not something that one can rerun multiple times. It's more a single story that I think sort of stands on its own terms. How do we start?